Welcome to the next installment of the Dismount Podcast, and today we are talking episode 37, Habits, Serial Killer or Disciplined Alpha Male? Ooh. So today, episode's outline. What does a habit look like to you? What is the difference between a habit and a ritual? What are positive habits you engage in daily, monthly, yearly? What are negative habits you engage in regularly? What are some habits you would like to adopt or cut out of your life? And last but not least, hold up. Are there any habits that have helped bail you out of a bad situation? And then finally, what are habits you think everyone could benefit from? So just firing off in the beginning, I would like for Titty to start us out with kind of giving us can you give us a broad spectrum meaning of like habit versus a ritual?
So between the time we talked about it last and now, my perspective may have changed slightly. My initial take is that a habit would be something that you revisit every single day, or, you come back weekly, daily, monthly, yearly, and you're just building that in, carving mental mountains. Then to me, a ritual would mean like something that you're trying to mark off as a special like signature on something. Maybe that's for me like confirmation whenever I was in 8th grade. Ritual marking, all right, this is a coming of age thing. Or you have maybe your rituals that you do like whenever you go to leave for work. Like, okay, let me make sure that I got my keys, got my wallet, got my phone, got my watch. For me, got my ring. All right, now I'm ready to go out the door. But Trisha pointed out something to me when I asked her about it. She's like, well, ritual to me seems like those things that you don't really have a choice in. That bedtime rituals, like, it's going to happen. It happens every night. It is kind of a sacred thing, but like, what do you do preparing for it or a lack thereof? Like, is it completely lackadaisical and you just jump into like, all right, I'm just going to, whenever I fall asleep, I fall asleep? Or are you like, okay, for me, all right, I got to take my contacts out, brush my teeth. Then I might lay some clothes out. I might not. And then go to sleep. So for her, she was saying, oh, well, maybe the ritual would be something you don't really have a choice in, but you keep visiting it. So.
Oh, shit. So like just going to bed in general would be the ritual. Just
Bedtime
like getting
ritual.
rest. Damn. That's a different way to look at it. Because for me, like my definition of what a habit was something that has become part of me that I don't even realize anymore. Like being the smoothie guy at work is what I wrote down here. And like I just constantly did a smoothie on a regular basis, and now I'm the guy who drinks the bug juice. That's what they say. And they're all like, so you gonna eat any like solid food, or you just got the bug juice today? Nah, I got the bug juice, man. And so that to me was like what a habit was just things that like I build out these lists every day. And I bang them out. I don't bang them out. I don't put too much weight on it anymore. And that was something that you and I had talked about at one point in time, because you were like, dude, that gives me anxiety just looking at that. And, well, you do that regularly? What the hell is wrong with you? But like, there's so many times when like my nighttime routine, I don't accomplish it all because either like I get into a zone with working on something, or like, for instance, like the podcast nights when we get together, like you guys will leave and I'll come back up here and I'll just start tinkering with something for a couple minutes. And then I'm like, oh shit, a half hour just went by. Dude, you told yourself as soon as the guys dipped out, you were going to like start your nightly routine and start that process. So I'm definitely super jazzed and excited for like my next adventure in life, which I know is going to be working for myself in some way, shape, or form, and having my own schedule for like the daytime where I would get all of these things done, organized and good, because I'm sometimes putting way too much stuff onto me in the evening that it's like, bro, you should have picked like 2 things and then it was nighttime routine. Like, why are you trying to do 3 different, 4 different, 5 different things and trying to cram all this stuff in? Like, all right, pick a day that's like working out. Pick a day that's, focused on the business. Pick a day that's this, and kind of lock those things in. But then it's like trying to find those days to lock those things in for you then becomes more of the challenge than actually doing the things that you were doing, because trying to actually schedule those out with having a relationship, with having relationships with other people, with building things with other people, and then everybody's schedules are so different. It's like sometimes you just got to know that you're on the path, you're making progress, and that is super dope. And to not shame yourself for not feeling like you're all the way there.
Yeah. Yeah, I started trying to get back in the swing of things this week of like, okay, I want to work out this day and that day. I want to read this day and that day. I want to work on the podcast this day and that day. And I did okay. And the first night, I think I didn't read that I was supposed to, or no, it was workout. I didn't work out on Thursday, I think. It doesn't matter. But regardless, I'm like, I think it was Wednesday, actually. I didn't work out Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, cool. You can just work out on Thursday now. It's okay. Like, before, like, oh my God, the fucking world's ending. I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do. I'm never going to make progress. I'm never going to go anywhere. Everything is ruined. I would take it that way. It's like, cool, I meant to do something and I didn't do it. Failure. And that's just not it. Like, I think that even just making the intention is a huge step, and then trying to find ways to be like mindful of the situations that you made or mentioned, where like you have people to worry about, or you have other things to worry about, you have jobs or other responsibilities. So no, I was happy to like set the intention to do so. Like habit ritual wise though, I think ritual for me is more of a like intentional, like you're aware of what you're doing it mindfully, and it's typically always a benefit to you. Like I can't think of a ritual that isn't a good thing for you.
I was having such a
Can
hard
you?
time like looking at what a ritual was, because like I looked at a ritual as like, are we trying to like summon some demons from the other side, or like are we trying to like call on some deities right now to come out, like we're doing a ritual, guys? Like it's like crazy shit. Like I was like, ritual, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking, human sacrifice here? What the hell is going on? And so me, like I even wrote it here. I was like, I really have no clue what a ritual compared to a habit was for me. But like a ritual of just, okay, you're ultimately always going to get to a place where you're going to have to go to sleep at some point in time. You're going to have to get rest.
And you're going to have to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the ritual side is like, unfortunately for me, like I think about a ritual as like I'm slowing down, I'm mindfully participating in some type of activity that I know will be a benefit to me. A habit can be, like you said, it's thoughtless. It's either positive or negative, and regardless if you like it or not, like that's just a concoction that is the sum of you, pretty much, which stinks because you look at all the habits, right? Look, even rituals too. Like, man, what's your morning ritual look like? Okay, my morning ritual, I had this talk with my girlfriend this week. Here, what's your morning ritual? Well, I leave at 8:10, so I wake up at 7:50. I sprint into the bathroom. I throw everything onto my body that needs to go on it: soap, water, toilet paper, toothpaste, shaving cream, as quickly as humanly possible. Upstairs, wear my clothes. They better be where they need to be, because if they're not, it's already 8:05, and I gotta leave at 8:10. And blah, 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 blah. Oh man, it's an exhausting life that I live, unfortunately. But like, that's what I mean is like,
How stressing is that?
it's incredibly stressful. I don't know why I do it to myself. If I wake up 20 minutes earlier and just be like, man, what would that morning ritual look like? Wake up, go downstairs, make the cup of coffee, come back up, then like be able, if I want to, like, sit there and slowly get ready, not slowly, but like not be in full panic mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like, okay, cool. Go upstairs, got the coffee going, everything set up the night before. I laid my clothes out, my book bag's all packed up, my lunch is already made, yada, yada, yada. Like, those are things that, oh man, they would benefit me immensely. But like, I think in the past I've lacked the desire to implement those things into my life just maybe out of laziness or like, oh man, you know where everything is. Like, this is just the way you've always done it. And yeah, definitely think it's time for a change on that end.
I've been desperately trying to, I desperately trying.
I've tried every avenue.
I've been desperately trying to get away from a habit that I have in my morning ritual, I guess you would say, is like I wake up and I instantaneously, like obviously I turn the alarm off on my phone, but then I go sit down on the toilet and I sit on the toilet some days until my legs kind of fall asleep to where like you stand up and you're like, oh shit, I was standing here.
You got the elbow prints on your knees. Yeah. The two big red circles.
And watch TikTok for like, honestly, just try to get an early morning movement out.
Yeah.
And just watch TikTok for like 15, 20 minutes. And you're like, dude, what did I just bombard I just bombarded myself with so much information that just blew my damn mind. And then some days you watch something and you're like, why the hell am I going to work? Work doesn't even make sense. Oh my gosh, I just saw another thing about how our birth certificate is literally a bank note, and I just got to learn how to handle the QSIP numbers, and I could literally tap into like whatever they consider this Treasury Direct account. What the hell am I going to work for right now if I supposedly am worth millions of dollars in bonds? And you're like, I should not have watched that because I'm not going to have time to actually like figure all this out. And it's just plaguing my mind for the rest of the day. I'm like, I don't have to deal with you.
You just
you're at work and you're like, I don't have to. Why am I here?
The morning ritual of doom scrolling to start your day is crazy. Like I did think about like what is a negative ritual, because you think about habits. Like a negative ritual is exactly that. It's like, oh cool, I'm gonna start my day just bombard. Like I was of course love watching the videos of people thinking UFOs are just taking over our planet, which they may or may not be. But it's very hard to take your day seriously when you think the entire world is being invaded by aliens. Every day you're like, oh, this is the day the aliens come. I know it's today. It's coming. I don't need to worry about that report. I got to get to my boss by the end of the day. The aliens will be here by 4 o'clock.
Oh yeah, it's all kind of craziness is about to break out. Got my backpack ready in the garage. Anything happens, we're good to go, man. We're good. And it's just like, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is something that I've been trying to now just put on some music and just try to like sit there and just relax for a little bit. And then it's days whenever Anastasia's not getting up for start at 6:30, and I'm like, man, I feel bad. I got music on right now, and she has a lot more time to like sleep. And like we don't have a big house, so like the music, it doesn't matter. You keep it down low, like it's still gonna travel, right? And so, yeah, that's something that like is definitely a part of like my AM start of the day ritual that I just like, dude, it's time to boot that guy to the side.
What was that? It sounded like you went fishing, but you threw a fucking turd in the water.
That was the bobber. The bobber just... He's a fast caster, masturbator.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that is true. That's Bass Pro Shops. Shout out Bass Pro Shops.
This hat $14.99. On a side note, when you were mentioning that, it made me think about, well, I think it's the first 20, 30 minutes of the day, your brain is highly programmable for your subconscious. So that would make a lot of sense if you're going into TikToking and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? This job is meaningless anyway. I'm worth millions of dollars. Fuck this job. So like that makes a lot of sense. Because I used to, when I listened to all that stoicism on my phone, I'd do it in the morning, first thing in the morning. And then when I was a machinist, I was just grooving right off the bat.
Damn.
I would have my habits of what I would do during the day, but my rituals was always my first piece rituals. Like, all right, you need to get that first piece to be good. You need to do it on both machines. So I'd have a ritual I'd go through just for timing. First hour is a critical hour. So I'd always want to have some progress done by the first hour. So I'd have the ritual for every time. In order to hit my mark, I had some intention behind it. But the habits I would have would just be the habits that would make sure that I'd have a guaranteed good product.
Dude, I not to transition so much from that, but I honestly thought like a ritual, and I'm rolling with like off of your Renegade for the Steelers type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we first, and I wrote this down, I thought of like a ritual as like the Notre Dame slapping the play like a champion today sign. Like that's what I took as like what a ritual was, and was so easily, quickly opened up to a whole different like perspective of what really a ritual is. The whole going to sleep ritual, the whole waking up, and I'm just like, oh shit, that makes a lot of freaking sense. Like,
Yeah.
I would say, what are the habits that you've been rolling with that are arguably very positive for you too?
I'd say the gym. Right now it's kind of a mark. This is winter. You know, I got my winter dad bod rocking. So
Yeah, baby.
it's coming around the time for me to start working out again. I gotta start jumping back on. I actually was gonna jump on around December 20th, and I was like, no, that gym's gonna be packed. Don't go there. And I was like, that's good enough for me. I'm not going. So year after year, I go through my in shape, out of shape phase, and I'll keep coming back to it. I also I have a lot of good habits on just car habits where I'll try to change over things, try to learn something. I think you guys actually sparked that years ago whenever I was driving to Indianapolis. Now, if I have a long road trip by myself, YouTube's my co-pilot.
Yeah.
I'm learning something. When I was driving 6 hours, I think I told you guys before, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drive 6 hours. I'm gonna learn how to master GTA Online. So now years later, I have everything I could ever want on GTA Online. But at the time, Derek's like, there are the other things you could do at that time. Like you could probably learn something in there. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. So then I put on a Joe Rogan podcast, and it started to propel me to expose myself to different individuals that I could benefit from. So like I'd say YouTube in the car, one of my best habits. Waking up to some good music, not drinking caffeine for like the first hour or two just to get all that stuff out. Intermittent fasting, that one's a huge one for me. I have a lot of them that they really don't come up. It's just kind of like built in. And I don't remember that they're habits anymore. It's just, it is what it is. Like when I go into work, I have a certain set of things I want to have done by a certain time. And if they're not done, then things start stacking. So I have a ritual / habit of when I come into work, I have like 5 or 6 things that I need to do in that first hour to feel comfortable. One of them, I'm glad I was trying to pull this as I was talking. I was like, there's one I was thinking about earlier. When you put that paper up, it reminded me I have about 6 blocks that I write out every day. Top left is game plan. Top right is to-dos. Bottom left, it could be extended game plan or a hybrid. Bottom right, extended to-dos. Bottom left, I need to know. Bottom right is future / later. It could be divided into 2. So I do that every day. I highly recommend it to anybody trying to get their shit together. Don't overcomplicate it like you were talking about. Just keep it very simple. Complicate it as time goes on, but start super simple. And it's a really easy way to organize your life. Me, I take any recycled paper and I just 6 blocks. Do with them what you will.
The hardest thing for me when I started doing that was like, if I didn't accomplish something, making sure that I didn't shame myself. Because what I would do is I'd be going to bed and I'd be like, I don't feel accomplished today.
Yeah.
Damn it. I could have totally got that done. I'm so tired right now. I need to just rest. Why am I thinking about this? Now I'm not even resting. I'm trying to rest and I'm not even resting because now my mind's just going, all the things you could have accomplished, you didn't, you fool. But for me, as far as like very positive, right now it's just like my routine with like the minerals, and really it's all based around my health, and like the stuff that's going into me right now is like super positive for me in terms of like locking that in, and I have been doing like taking my optimized minerals every single day, doing my elixir every single day, now doing like a green drink of some type of kind. So that's like celery and different things like I talked about in the last episode that I suck down first thing to try to like fight that inflammation, dude. And I'll tell you what, for 2 weeks, I was on just like a hardcore, really liquid diet, arguably. A little bit of food, a little bit of pasta mixed in, but nothing too heavy. Dude, this past week, I lost, after doing a week and a half to 2 weeks of just like the liquid, arguably liquid, more liquid diet. Dude, this week I've went to lunch with people. You brought chili over. I banged out 2 bowls of chili that night. I woke up the next day, I'd lost 2 pounds. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. I didn't work out at all this week. I literally put working out on the back burner because I wanted to focus on sleep and getting like more into the business stuff done and some personal things done. And I was like, dude, I'm putting working out on the back burner this week, making sure I eat right, do my stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? This don't make any sense.
Yeah.
What about you, Big Slime?
Big Slime. Positive wise, I think like recently podcasts, we've really gotten in the habit of setting up strict days and working on it a set amount of time, which has been really good for me. I think about biking a lot. I miss it. It's been too cold, but like when I'm able to, I still got to get like a trainer or something set up because it's something I enjoy doing so much. But like the habit of like when it's nice out, just like I don't miss a day when my bike's good and I have the time of like, all right, cool, I'm throwing it out there and just gonna, it's mindless. Like, okay, cool, weather's good, coming home, grabbing the bike, I'm going out for an hour at least.
Did your brother get you? I don't mean to put you on blast. Did your brother get you that little trainer you said?
I should go figure that out. I'm sure he has it.
Because if he doesn't, let me know. We'll get you hooked up.
Okay.
Also, if instead of messing with your bike, well, I got that other bike downstairs.
Yeah.
That already has the tire on it and everything. Just pop it into the basement.
Yeah.
Set up.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you put me on blast right on the damn
Can you put
podcast."
that trainer in the sauna? You ever try that?
Oh
You ever
my
tried that
God.
before?
I have not. Holy heavens to Betsy.
That's probably gonna put you in the ER. Another good thing we've done at home is resetting on Sundays, which is good. Like straight, like getting better. It's been holidays made it tough, but like setting Sunday aside for us to like not do anything crazy outside of the house, but like relax, enjoy the Sunday, but also like make sure laundry's good. Make sure if there's like dishes in the sink, they're done for Monday when we come home. Make sure that like meals are set up or having a game plan on what we're going to eat that week or like just little things like that make such a difference for planning. And like those little tastes of planning it out where I've been more of a person to just kind of just fly by and let things just kind of happen the way they happen is it only gets you so far. So it is nice to have that implemented where I can rely on some type of system where it's becoming a habit. It's becoming a cool, like now Sundays, I know like the game plan is to make sure that I'm set up for the rest of the week. So that's been good. Like other things too, like I think like you can have habits that aren't like actions so much too. Like they're just like characteristics too. So I wrote down things like I do have the habit of like even connection with others. Like I love connecting. Like I have a habit of like going out of my way to get to know people, or I have a habit of like, working like hustle wise. Like I want to go in and like when we were working on the podcast the other day, it's like I want to come here and just fucking bang this out. And it's so frustrating for me because it's like you got to learn, dude. You can't just like paint the fucking Mona Lisa, dude. Like no one's hustling the Mona Lisa over here. It's never happened. So like things like that, where like whether they are positive or negative, I think there's ways to channel that energy the right way. So. I wrote down like music when I'm driving. Like I can't sit in silence when I'm driving. Now I wrote that as a negative habit as well. So like I love listening to music when I'm driving, but I also have the bad habit of filling silence with noise. So like,
whoa,
trying to juggle that shit. That's like they're both a part of you. It's like I love driving around, titties, listening to Blink-182 and passing exits on the way here today. Is that what happened?
Yeah, first date.
Yeah. Today was took your hand on your very first date. You're just blowing through Carnegie.
Oh shit, there was my exit at pasta.
Yeah, so things like that. Or like having a snack when I cook. Do you eat when you cook?
I eat the food that I'm cooking to the point where then people come over, like you guys come over after I've cooked. Like for instance, even on New Year's Eve.
You do that. You like that's right. New Year's Eve. You like I'm like, are you gonna eat? You're like, I already did, dude. While I was cooking.
I've been eating the whole time I was cooking, dude.
Yeah, I'm bad about that. Like, cause I'm so damn hungry when I finally get time to cook, and like it's probably just the way I set up my meals. But yeah, it's it is funny because I'll just get like whether it's like cheese nits or fucking whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make this. I'm like, I'm picking a little snack, and you're just ruining the fucking dinner you're making anyway.
I'm not even hungry now.
Yeah. So it is funny. I was thinking about that. How like you can have something you look at as a positive habit actually somehow also be a negative too.
Yeah, too much consumption of it, man. That was my negative. That was my negative thing was I was definitely someone who I felt like did too much consumption. And I mean that in like a terms of like a binge night from like getting too baked and then literally just getting the munchies and you just eat every damn thing in sight. But I also mean that from like going to the store and buying groceries and different things like that. Anastasia has literally whooped me into shape to where I don't overbuy now.
Yeah.
Like I was the person who would just, well, I'm making chili, so I'm gonna make enough chili for the next 3 months. What the hell is this like thought
She said
process?
that. She said that when I brought the chili over on Thursday. She's like, yeah. She's like, I like chili. Like that was really good. It's just like, when Zach makes chili, it's like that's all we eat for 3 weeks. He has 27 mason jars in the freezer full of chili. What's for dinner, Zach? It's chili.
She goes, I like soup, but I don't like the same soup for the next the next month.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. But for you, Tit, like what has actually been a negative?
Not Taco Bell. I'm not gonna say Taco Bell.
We are going to get sponsored by Taco Bell one day. It's going to happen.
Honestly, they'd be fools to not.
Could you imagine?
I'd
like,
push that shit so hard.
could you imagine like a point where like you have the soundboard set up and you could just hit it and the Taco Bell goes dong,
Dong.
every titty's like episode mention of Taco Bell dong.
Titty hits a one-liner and then it's just a bell at the end.
No drum roll, no drums. It's just doing.
Yeah.
I would say Taco Bell's. It's definitely on the list. It's too easy. It's like right by work. Like it's so easy to just drive by on the way home. Like I could literally drive by and then hop on the highway right after. So it's bad. More water. I've been working on that. Just trying to get more water in my system.
Oh yeah, I forget that you're on the north side with the Taco Bell right there, and then you can
Yes.
jump right on. Oh,
It's bad.
damn.
It's real bad. Trying to get more water in me. I'm trying to eat a little bit better, and what that means to me is just trying not to eat out as much. Trying to spend less. I don't really buy too much. Food is mainly like my main vice. I definitely know I need to cut back on caffeine. Exceeding the daily limit most days. I definitely need to get back in the gym. So those are some negative things where I'm just like kind of talking myself out of it. Like, oh yeah, hard day. By the time you get home, you'll have X amount of hours. So then do you really want to spend the time it takes to get to the gym, then the time to work out, time to come back, time to shower, time to make something and then eat? And it's like, if I don't go, then I get like 2 hours back. It's like, oh, let's do that.
But it's like what do you do with those 2 hours? Because you're like me, it's fucking sit there.
It's mostly just like time with Trisha. I might tinker, pick some stuff up. But for the most part, like, you go to the gym, do that, then you feel better after. And I would say it's not a negative habit, but the lack thereof a good habit is, we were just talking about cold showers earlier. I can't believe how good I feel when I do a cold shower, hot to cold. I'm not doing strictly cold.
No, I'm not.
on that.
There's no way I'm spending the time lathering my body correctly while I'm standing in freezing cold water, bro. I'm freaking the fuck out.
I got us a new ice bath coming. That's going to be able to fit in the garage, and we'll be able to sit in it. I'm not going to take the big barrel down into the garage because it'll just be too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a new guy coming for just it was on flash sale, dude. Got like an XL tub for
Like the inflatable ones?
It's not it has like a structure to it. You have to build with like it sits into a structure, It's not an inflatable one.
Is it like temperature controlled, like one of those?
No,
like,
I don't have the chiller or any of that type of stuff. But the chiller is an easy add-on if I wanted to. But
interesting.
it's honestly, with it being with the garage being 40 degrees
That's a good
and
point.
48 degrees, like let's get comfortable with like 48 degree,
Yeah.
and then we'll start going down to the 32s.
Yeah,
Dude.
we're gonna have to cut a deal with the convenience store down the street for ice in the summer.
Yep. I also always got those ice packs. Like bring
Yeah.
down those.
But we definitely will have. Well, I'm definitely gonna get the little chiller for it at some point in time. But dude, I love the ice bath that we have outside that you can actually like get all the way down into, feel comfortable in, like that big ass tote that we have built as the ice bath is dope, in my opinion. It's just
Going outside.
the one
It
outside.
feels like I'm turning into like the Green Goblin when I go in there, dude. It's like there's a transformation that happens to just go into this freaking fetal position in the tank and pop back up. Like that thing is like it's
From
like
Spider-Man, right?
yeah, it's like for people who like take like ice baths, like you see like the people on like social media like getting these like what you just bought, like one of these nice little tanks. They sit down, it's made for it. Like I'm gonna do my ice bath. Like Zach set us up last winter with like the industrial size, like freaking dude. What even was that? I don't even remember.
So it's like a 1,000-gallon it's like a 1,000-gallon tote that basically you move liquids in.
Yeah.
And it sits inside of like a full cage, and it's all on a metal pallet and everything. So we cut one of those bad boys open and turn that into an ice bath. Dude, that thing, that's huge.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
it's dope whenever you like, I know that getting in these ones and it's gonna work, it's gonna do its stuff, but like where you can just like drop in and your legs all feel free and like when you actually are shivering and you can like move your stuff around, I like that versus I feel like I'm gonna feel kind of like locked in,
yeah.
and I really hope I don't get out of there and I'm just like I've been so tense sitting here like this that I don't have to like to thaw myself argue.
Yeah.
Also, side note: friends don't let friends do ice baths alone.
It's a bold statement.
Is that a truth statement?
I
You
just
should've
made
ju-
it up, but I
He
just thought about
trademarked
that.
yeah.
Just thought about that. I was like, you know what? I just had an image of you in there, and Haas was like, Zach,
Zach's just like stiff.
you're like Rose in the Titanic. You're like, help, Jack. I'm so cold. Haas, I'm so cold.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
So, what are some habits that you would like to adopt?
Hold on. No.
Oh, sorry,
I
go
would like
ahead.
to speak about negative habits.
I
It's
would
like I
love
got
for
a
you
bunch
to
I gotta
share.
get out.
Yeah, let me talk about how fucking shitty of a person I am for a bit. Is that okay? Like, can I have my turn?
Viral clip. Here we go.
Everyone else got to exercise their demons. Oh, all right, cool.
You got a lot of.
Here we
demons,
go.
bro.
I
Here
drink
we
too
go.
much. And I don't, but I do. Like I do, but I don't. And I have a bad time considering the effects drinking has on me in my 30s. Like I was good yesterday. I was a good boy. But I used to show up and do the podcast a year ago, and you used to get fucking pissed. Sorry, but you did. I used to come in here fucking still drunk. Be like, all right, dude, let's rip it.
I don't think I got.
Yeah, you got
I
mad.
wasn't
You were
super
not,
jazzed.
You weren't. You
Honestly-
didn't come in. You're like, thank God Derek's hungover today.
No, I definitely wasn't. I was. Yeah, no. We had a lot of conversations of. I don't think I'm gonna do this podcast anymore, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those came up.
yep.
Yeah, that did happen. So, it's not even the drinking too much. I don't think I drink too much, but I think like my situational awareness of like how that affects me, not only like even that day, but like the next day or the day after or whatever. Like even dude, just I swear it heightens my anxiety. Like the next day, hangovers. Like it's not so much like physically ailed. It's just like there's something going on mentally that just it's not great. Like it's definitely draining. I mean, there's other things like the scrolling on the phones and playing the video games, the eating like shit. That everyone like, I'm sorry, everyone does that. I'm just like, it's a comfort thing for me. I think where it's like cool, and the one I wrote down that I think really kind of highlights all that stuff is the letting small tasks pile up. I have a really bad habit of like just not doing things that would take a short amount of time and then supplementing those things with bad habits, which are like the playing the video games or the just doing other shit that just like cool if I was just prioritizing everything and then did that as a reward, it wouldn't be a bad habit. It would be okay. But when I'm prioritizing all of the bad shit over the things that I know I should get done first, it makes it a little tough. So no, like and that kind of all goes back into like I wrote down sticking too much to comfort. Like yeah, like that's the same shit. It's like okay, cool. Like I could go outside for a run, or I could just sit here under a blanket and watch Bob's Burgers. That sounds a lot better. So just like little shit like that like I'm doing a lot better of not beating myself up, but it is tough to balance not beating yourself up and also not driving yourself to want to be better either. Like I talked to Doe about that. I'm like, I don't like she's like, dude, just chill out. You're cool. Like you don't have to do that right now. I'm like, but I keep telling myself I don't need to do it right now. And if I continue to tell myself I don't need to do it right now, it's never going to get done. I've spent a lot of time saying, okay, this shit doesn't need done right this second. When in all reality, like if I just keep telling myself that, then nothing's ever getting done.
You're locked.
Yeah, like you in the ice bath.
Did-
Locked up.
Did you have your moment?
No. I mean, I want to talk. I wrote all these nice little things down about things I do, and you just were gonna steamroll right over it. So,
I definitely wasn't going to
Yeah,
steamroll over it.
yeah.
I unfortunately, thought you already shared all that. That was my bad as a host, arguably.
No, all good. No, that's really it. Like just like little things like that. Overcommitment, I think I'm horrible at. Like, oh, cool, dude. What are we doing that day? Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. And then I'm gonna book every second up until that and every second after it. So I have this tiny little sliver of period of time to spend time with family or work on something or whatever it may be. So it stinks because those things, I feel like it's so much easier to have negative habits pile up and let them become part of you than it is to implement positive habits. I don't know if you guys had that,
You've definitely walked away from your old phrase,
which was
double book dairy.
double book dairy. Yeah, I've but that's like
I
I
used
was
to call him double book dairy.
That's been a mindful like change though, because I've gotten called out on that so many times to the point where it's like if you care about the people, like you should be able to set boundaries in the sense of like it shows more respect to somebody to say no, I actually can't do that because of this than it is to say okay, I'm going to overextend myself and give you less than 100% of what I should in that effort.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had to step away from that for my own fucking sanity.
But please ask me. I didn't mean to cut you off. Please ask me the question.
Oh,
I just thought that was a solid plug
So
because you made hell of a change on that.
yeah. So I'm thinking just spitballing questions, Zach. What are some habits that you would like to implement, or maybe even cut off in your life? I don't know. I'm just curious. Or just
I want to get to a place where I'm on my own schedule. I want to get to the place where I'm on I'm not on anybody else's time clock. I'm on my own time clock. I wake up, I have the opportunity to do whatever I want with my day. I don't have this where I got to drive 45 minutes to a job, be there for 8 hours, drive 45 minutes home, and now 24 hours out of my day or 10 hours out of my 24-hour day have now been spent on somebody else. And then, I gotta try to get 8 hours of sleep because I don't get 8 hours of sleep. This damn Whoop thing tells me I'm about to die. It tells me my HRV's down.
Whoop, you're going to die.
Yeah, Whoop, you're about to die. And it tells me my recovery score. And it's like, you're looking at the stats and you're like, these are the stats of like a person who's literally about to die. What the hell is wrong with me? And so you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be why am I spending 10 hours a day? And honestly, I really don't want to feed capitalism. As much as that's I don't know, probably as petty or stupid of me as that sounds like, I don't want to feed the capitalism cog. I don't want to be another cog in the wheel of capitalism to where like at some point in time, someone's like, oh, this guy was just trying to make money.
Yeah.
This guy was just trying to, because all that is to me is just, I'm trying to take from him to give to me, and well, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, I have so many ways or problems in the world that I feel like I have great solutions for. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't, just.
No, the
hard.
capitalism thing's crazy. My job was like, I always have a really hard time when I have a negative experience with a customer. Like I think that is something where I don't really align with that capitalistic sense of thinking too, because I will say it like when I'm pitching people is like the last thing I want to hear from you in 3 months is that you regret your decision. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely don't want to hear that. And not so much like, yeah, I want them to make the right decision for themselves, but it's also for me. Like I feel bad getting paid on you buying something if I swindled you into buying it in 3 months, you regret your decision.
Yeah.
I'd much rather you like if it's a podcast, like I'd feel so much better if someone gave us $5 a month because they enjoyed our podcast than if I talked them into buying something they didn't want to at my job that I only see a very small percentage of and you're gonna regret anyway in a couple months.
That's where like the print on demand for me. I love that idea of the print on demand because it's just like, all right, I'm not making a ton of stuff. If you like it, if you resonate with like the message of what our podcast is, the message of what the brand is that I'm pushing, like then you buy it and it makes you feel something when you wear it. And another side of that is like I really would love to just like make and create things for people, but then I'm also the jabroni who's not out there posting all the stuff that I've made. Like all of the awesome, cool costumes that we've made over the last couple years. Like, I would love to just get paid by people to make their Halloween costumes. I would love that. I would enjoy that so much, making more of those llamas and different shit like that.
You do a great job. You do.
Like, the
You do some
alpaca.
crazy shit. You and John both just have this way that your brains work that like beyond me. It's like when John would paint something, like when we used to hang out and just get drunk and paint. Like, I remember I still did donut painting, and he didn't paint it like, okay, here's a circle and like the frosting, and like no, he sketched out for 6 hours how he was going to paint a donut, and then 20 minutes create the perfect donut painting. Crazy, dude. But like it's the same way with like you in a different way of like the alpaca. Like you're like, oh, this is actually like 3 water jugs, like these 2 things I got from outside the supermarket. That's the feet and yada yada yada. And then like you went to Joanne Fabrics and you came up and there's a fucking alpaca in your living room.
It's just a full thing you wear, And
Yeah.
like so. But who's the jabroni who didn't post all that stuff on Instagram?
Yeah.
Who's the guy who has literally 12 hours worth of videoing of me and Anastasia building that and hasn't made a YouTube video to show that he did that?
Yeah.
So how am I ever going to expect to get paid to do those to do art and love and the thing that I would love if I'm not out there actually pushing it?
Yeah. You can hope and wish all you want, but eventually it's up to you.
Yeah.
Not even eventually, it is entirely up to you.
What about you, big sexy?
Oh man, I laugh the second you start talking because we are 5 bullet points. And as far as like props for the episode, and Titty still has Taco Bell equals 1 mile written down.
Hey, that's a may. That may not happen.
That's an E.G. That's an example.
Example.
Yeah. Thank you. Example
I
graphia.
feel like I'm attacking you. I'm sorry.
1 mile does not equal Taco Bell. That's what it should say. That's how far we are from the closest Taco Bell.
See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
We're actually more than 1. We're about probably 2.5, maybe 3.
Yeah. It's close enough.
Yeah, Bridgeville. That's the closest one.
He knows, dude.
I don't know where all the closest Taco Bells are to my exact location at all times.
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
I would say some habits I'd like to adopt or cut off. One of the ones, as you and Derek were talking about it, I'm getting better at under-promising, over-delivering on time. Today's actually a perfect example. Before today started, I had quite a few things. I'm like, oh, I could slip this in here, here. I was going to go into work today, either right before the podcast or right after, to try to compensate and try to make sure that me and the other person working, we collaborate, line up. We're also going to be working together on Monday. It's not that big of a deal. I did a lot of prep stuff yesterday so I could be ready for today. And I was like, I'm going to go in. I was like, no, because you really don't have that kind of time, Brandon. And then on top of that, like as we're going to finish, I imagine I'll probably have about like 30 minutes to get back, then 20 minutes to get to the place where I'm going to. And that starts at 1 o'clock. I'm like, so really, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally. Even the other day, I'm like, yeah, I'd like to stick around, do some editing. I'm like, Brandon, you're stupid. You think you have that time? I'm like, I want to go. I already said like, oh, what do you think you're gonna? Derek asked, what do you think you're gonna do after this? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna see Trisha, and then I'm gonna clean. Honestly, realistically, once I get back, I probably have enough time. I'm gonna say hello, and then we're gonna start driving. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Brandon, you get way too ambitious on all of your like time. And then the one thing that's worse than that is when you share that with others. Because then you start going, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do this. And then you're like 15 minutes late. I'm so sorry. I got this happened, this happened, this happened. Blink 182 was playing. I missed my exit. But I've been getting a lot better. I've tried to under promise, over deliver. And in the past, I've been over promising, under delivering, because I'm like, oh yeah, I could please this person, this person, this person, this person. And then you end up giving each one of them like 75%. And like Derek was talking about, it's like, well, you know, that person doesn't like when you show up all the time and you get 75%. They'd rather you just like show up half the time and get 100.
Right.
Or some people are different. They might prefer something different, but most people I know, they prefer to get like your undivided attention or most of it. Unless you're a dad or mom, then you get a freebie. But I'd like to start like actually like following through a lot more on that, because I don't know, it's gonna happen. Let's take a list over the next couple of times that you hear something that me say, you're like, you don't have time for that, and we'll just start keeping count.
I'm totally cool with it if you do the same for me, because your
Okay.
comments of over ambition, I was like, I've been trying to figure out how to phrase that on
Yep.
what I was basically describing. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
And I only use the word ambition because we were talking about it. A plug for the guy I was listening to, Audible, Brendan something, talks about habits of growth in this Audible book that's free if you got the premium. But one of the things he talks about was, yeah, everybody's gung-ho on motivation nowadays. I'm just not motivated. It was like, okay. Then other people were like, oh, yeah, motivation's a fallacy. It's not real. I've totally been one of those people. He goes, no. Don't go so gung-ho into the YouTuber, like Goggins mentality.
Motivation.
Yeah. And it's like, so the guy, we talked about this earlier yesterday or something like that. And it was like, oh, yeah, well, motivation's not real. It's just discipline. So like whenever you went to the gym, how did your day go? Well, I really didn't want to go, but you know, I just decided to just not think about it and go. It's like, so then you were motivated. Yeah, but I wasn't really motivated. Like I wasn't excited. It's like, who said that motivation was a happy thing? Like who said it had to be happy? It's like,
I've been waiting my whole life for it to be a happy thing, bro.
and it's not. And motivation's just the reason. It's just what, like, if you say, I'm just going to shut off my brain because I need to go, that's your motivation. Your ambition is what feels good. And somebody said, when you lose that ambition, you lose that spark that makes you get up and go to make all these habits, all these rituals roll. What you've lost is you've lost touch. You've lost focus. You haven't lost your motivation. Your motivation's still there. It's just, are you going to use it or are you just going to let it sit in the back of the shed? But your reasons will get you up.
You gonna pull that tool out or not?
Yeah. it's like
But that was a roundabout way for me to say, I kind of want to start under promising, over delivering rather than the other way around, because it's for me, I think it's one of those things. I really, even now I'm 31 years old. I still haven't got there. And I'm like, you know what? I've been a lot better than I was in my 20s. Give yourself a little bit of credit and, you know, try to make the next step. So that's what I want to do.
I'm definitely better than I was in my 20s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The under promise over deliver is such an opportunistic place to put yourself in too. You look like a fucking superhero when you do it. You go from this guy who always says he's gonna do something and never follows through to a person where like you set a boundary, which is beneficial to you. And then when you show up, you look like a fucking rock star. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. I'll let you. And then like you move some things around. Last minute, show up at the birthday party or whatever you need to be, or be there for someone who didn't expect it. Like all of a sudden, dude, you're that person's hero, and you're also doing something, you know, of a service to yourself as well.
And it's a shared problem. A lot of people, they have that, so they'll have the empathy for, oh yeah, I overcommit myself too. I understand.
Yeah. I think issue I've had in the past too is not understanding the fact that everyone else is a human being too, and other people deal with shit and their problems and getting out of their own way too. So like, I just think that everyone expects me to be perfect the entire time, and that's crazy. And I would never expect that of someone else. So what the fuck am I doing? You know?
Why am I putting this burden on myself?
Yeah, man, I love it, dude. I just love thriving in burden, I think.
I feel like you're the type of guy who like
Here's the type of guy who
no, I feel like you're the type of guy who like has the backpack and you just keep throwing more shit in it that you don't need. Like
like what?
no, I'm just saying you go out for an adventure.
Yeah,
and
okay.
you
So
just
I'm
keep
on.
putting-
Okay,
you
let's
just
here.
keep putting more shit in
Everyone
the backpack.
close their
you know?
eyes. Everyone close their eyes. Derek's on an adventure. He has a backpack. What's the first thing he's putting in it?
Emotional stress.
Your cell phone.
Oh,
Those are one and the same. That's the same thing.
Fucking Christ, dude. We gotta rename this podcast. It's like Crucifying Derry or whatever the fuck you want to come up with.
Second thing is your keys, so you can drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe you can drive my car.
No, it's definitely cell phone. Actually, is number one. Emotional stress is
My
number
cell phone
two.
would never be making the bag, though.
Oh, it would never make it in the
No,
bag.
it'd
It
be
would
the
always
ball.
be right in the hand.
I thought you couldn't fit it with all the emotional
If I
stress.
don't have it, I'm
thought
gonna
you
die.
couldn't fit it with all the emotional stress.
Wow, dude.
Just
So okay, adopting. And adopting is crazy because it's all just things that I have already adopted at some point in my life. Like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel over here. Maybe reading is. My dad always tried to get me to read when I was younger, and I fucking hated it. He's like, "Oh, here's Harry Potter. You can read it." I'm like, or I could just watch the movie. It's cooler. Everyone's like, "No, the book's better." I'm like,
Bullshit.
dude, I'm sorry. Like,
he says, "Oh,
I'm sorry, dude. Like any person who has ever said the book is better, I don't care how bad the movie is, you're still wrong.
They're a sadist.
I'll leave it at that. You're still wrong. But
That's a bold statement.
you're
Cotton.
still wrong. That's why I've never liked story. I don't like reading stories. I don't know why. I like when people tell me stories. Like I like listening to stories. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm sure someone's listening. It's like, yeah, it's because you're fucking stupid, dude. You don't know how to read.
I would say, do you have a hard time like creating a visual image of what you're reading?
No, I don't. But I do have a hard time of slowing my brain down enough to be able to comprehend what I'm reading without thinking of anything else.
It's fair. Yep.
Without getting distracted. Like, it's
Fair
tough.
game.
I feel like when I'm watching something visually or listening to something, like, it's so much easier for me to lock in. But, like, when I'm sitting in silence, like, I could be there and, like, oh, what's that noise outside? Or, like, oh, did I wash the dishes today? Or whatever. Like, for some reason, I can't lock in on a book the way I lock into, like, audio or video.
I respect the shit out of that.
I'm
got
trying.
you.
I am trying. I'm trying again. I have tricked myself into. Well, I didn't trick myself. My girlfriend tricked into giving me a Kindle, which is a screen, but it has a book on it. Now, what she doesn't like is I got for Christmas. The first thing I did is pull it out and go on the browser and pull up a NFL game. And I'm like, all right, thanks for getting me a new screen to watch football on, baby. I appreciate you. She's not thrilled about that. But I do have books. I am trying to read them. We'll see where that goes.
So do you put the Harry Potter on the top of the screen and then you read the book underneath of it?
You're
You're watching
follow
the movie.
along.
You're watching the movie as you read the book.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Writing's another one. I've always loved writing. I do like doing like the shit like this. So I think that's something that I'm just like I need to take more time on the notes side of the podcast, or maybe even not. Like I think I want to sit here and read paragraphs while we're doing the podcast, but it's also like those are things that have been cool for me to try to be a little more creative and just thought process, not letting things think for me or not being so lazy the sense I can't like break shit down enough to come here with constructive conversation.
Yeah, we tricked ourselves into journaling.
Crazy, dude. It's all Brandon. I think like exercise and like the exercise like a big cardio person, but never like a weightlifting guy. I think like that's the
I'm
next
the
step
opposite.
for me. Yeah, I love running. I love being on the bike. I love sports like that, but like never been a big gym guy. So I do have to figure out a way to start like getting into consistent like because I love exercising. When I get around, I feel better. It's never a thing that I don't like doing. It's I just like I really struggle with the idea of doing it in the morning. I know that's the next level. The next level is me getting my workout in first thing in the morning.
The difference between biking for me and like doing weight training or even like push-ups or any of that type of stuff is like at the end of my workout of riding the bike, I look back and I'm like, wow, you rode this amount of distance. You went this amount. Like, you feel like the progress that you made versus like, I don't think other than the time that I worked out with Titty, like I used to go to I was the guy in Planet Fitness who set up a little circuit area for himself, and I'm doing like HIIT workouts in the Planet Fitness to the point where I probably set off the lunk alarm once or twice. But, but anywho,
Throwing that ass around.
throwing that ass around. But like and the only time that I've gone to the gym and done like a workout was when I tried to keep up with his ass.
Mhm.
And then
I still felt bad about the biceps.
And then for literally 2 weeks, I'm like, couldn't even do this. And I was just like, these are on what the
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy is way stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Way
No, I think I
stronger.
was just
But
used
that's
to that
something-
workout style for a while.
I feel like that's something that, like, I think weightlifting specifically is so hard to get into later in your life, just like a lot of things are. But like, you've been lifting weights since you were in
14.
14, right? High school. You had weight training all year round. for the
Literally
most part.
going into 8th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, I
started
know.
lifting.
We would lift a little bit in rowing, but it was all technique. It's technique and balls. That's what our coach said. Technique and balls. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It matters how good you are about doing the motion you have to do and just having bigger fucking balls.
I thought it was just going to be keeping your balls from getting clapped together when you're trying to do the rowing motion.
It's those little balls people have in their office. They drop the one and it goes dunk. Cooking. I love cooking. I need to do it more. I've been doing better. I've actually, since writing these things, have done better at all these. And then traveling's the other one.
Chili was fire, dude.
Thanks, dude.
The chili was fire.
It was really good.
No, I'm glad. I'm not a horrible cook. I like eating too much. I would hate to make something and then it suck, which happens. But I do enjoy doing that. Leaving behind is more like, again, it's not actions. It's more emotional stuff. Like not pushing myself to be better. Like I just said earlier, like no more excuse making in the sense of like, oh, like I do have to be mindful of like taking care of myself and you know, slowing down, but also the sense of like not at the expense of accomplishing the things I want to do. And I guess the other one would just be like not falling victim for the same mistakes either. Like I do that a lot. I'm just like, oh, cool. Why is nothing changing? It's not because you're just doing the same shit. Like that's why. And I think all this ties into just wanting to be better because it's even like just not loving myself for who I am right now. Like it's like, oh, you just want to be, you're just fighting to be that version of you. You're like never okay with who I am right now. So I've gotten better at that, but that's something that I just feel like it's going to hold me back from doing anything I really truly want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So
I didn't mention earlier the whole Taco Bell green tax before we end up moving on to our next question.
Well, yeah. What's the green tax?
So green tax is something I instituted whenever I was in counseling the addict class. And basically, I gave up beer. And then at the end of the project, you're supposed to do something to try to promote a little bit better health. So I would equal 1 beer to 1 mile. Now I don't really drink very much at all because my body still remembers that. But I do think I probably, if I'm on this pace for Taco Bell, just eating bad, just all fast food, then I probably need to, like, if it's fast food specifically, I'm putting Wingstop in there too. If it's fast food, then I probably need to have a mile equivalent, even though that's not going to burn off all the calories.
gotta earn it.
Yeah, my body will be like, I don't want to run a mile. I don't want fast food. It's not worth it. I don't want it at all. That and I need to start including more fiber in my diet. No doubt I think most people do, but just as a public service announcement, that's one of the things that most people aren't doing. That's not guaranteed to give them Alzheimer's, but it's one of the ingredients. The lack of fiber is in a lot of Alzheimer's patients. So I need to put that in.
Interesting. Yeah, you need to start getting those beans back in your 5-layer burrito.
I love beans, to be honest. Not
Beans.
refried beans, but beans.
You really don't like refried beans? Like even a Mexican restaurant, you go in the rice and you don't like them either?
It has to
Really?
be like really good.
I like, dude, a Mexican restaurant where you get like the rice and you scoop the rice and you get a little scoop of the beans and you get like a little sauce on. Oh,
It's the texture that
Just
ruins it
crush-
for me. I don't know about you, Tip, but the texture.
I'm just not a big fan on the refried beans. I think it was the texture. Yeah.
that's like where we draw the line in texture. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of
I don't
shit.
think
like,
that's where I draw the line in texture.
refried beans. Like I don't know.
I just- I
Is it
don't
like
think I ever-
because it's like baby food or something.
It's
like,
honestly what it looked like. It looked like baby food to me. Like it looked like it was unappetizing.
Like it literally ruins a burrito if I put it on there.
Mm.
I'm like, this is just destroying.
I can work with it. Don't get me wrong. I will eat. I'm not gonna not eat something because it's on there, but I'm not looking for the refried beans. Like
Yeah.
if I'm getting fajitas, no refried beans.
Yeah. Fuck. I was even gonna say I have no issue with that. I get the ones at the store. I get like black refried beans. You ever do those? Those are good, dude. I love it. Put it on the stove, a little oil and a little seasoning, and just get it hot and just like rice, chicken, avocado, a little slap of that. That's it. Done.
If I'm at a
Solid damn meal, dude.
If I'm at a restaurant where they got like the yellow, orange Mexican rice and they put some refried beans next to it, I'm definitely going to try some of it.
Yeah.
But if it's Taco Bell refried beans, I'm probably going to
I can't say I blame you for that. Honestly, I can't really make an argument for that. So, okay. Thoughts on a habit bailing you out of a situation?
The only one that I had was just like my weird intuition to be able to realize that something bad was going to happen and be able to talk my way out of it. I was a sneaky little fucker for a long time. Dude. Sneaky little fucker. I could see like patterns about to happen, and I was already like planting seeds. Like, oh, I'm gonna tell this person this. I'm gonna tell this person this, and this person this. So that
He's
it's
lining
literally
up the ducks.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, so that not being a part of me anymore. Still have all the intuition and the awareness, but having the deception is what I don't use anymore.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was a smart little fucker, dude.
It makes me think of my brother. My brother, he was definitely he could either gather everybody around him up and get them to ally towards something or against something. And he's a reckoning. If he's against you, you're on the wrong side.
Titty though, you had a solid one. Your example was fantastic for this. Like,
Oh yeah, so I've had two. So one is just a standout one. The other one, it was recent and it came in handy. We were actually for the people who are watching, we were meeting on Discord, and one thing after another fails. I have this iPad, that iPad, iMac at home, laptop. I'm not trying to sound spoiled, but I was prepared. So I have them all lined up on my desk. I'm ready to fire away. My phone's the only thing that's connected to Discord. And Teddy's trying to show me, he's trying to show all of us like screen share to show, and I'm looking at like size like 4 font. And I'm like, I can't read any of that. So I'm going back and forth. Every system I have is failing. And I'm like, it's because I talk shit that I'm getting a new laptop. All my devices are like, yo, you need a new laptop. Why don't you ask your new laptop for help?
oh, it's not here yet?
Yeah. Oh, well, too bad. So I figured out the problem after we got off the phone. I figured out the problem. But in the meantime, I basically connected a keyboard to my iPad, and I was able to get it to get back online. But what I wanted was my laptop because that's, full keyboard, easier, faster. By the time I got off the phone, everything was ready. But had I not had 4 systems, actually 5 with the phone, I had 5 systems, and when it came down to it, 4 of them failed until I was able to troubleshoot one, and then when we got off the phone, I troubleshoot the other. So I'm like, I seem like a crazy person for having all 5 of these things here and ready, but I'm not whenever it comes down to like the wire and everything fails except for one. And
Like the stuff you keep in your trunk.
Yep. And at work, I'm like a crazy person. I say I'm a mobile office. One of the things that I had on Christmas Day, I was working, I had a duct tape roll worn as a bracelet because I knew it would come in handy. And within an hour, I was already duct taping some stuff, like immediately. White duct tape, not regular one, but white so you couldn't see it. So I just always have shit on me, battery backups, wires, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just a mobile office. And then another great example was in my trunk, I have all kinds of stuff from tools to first aid, things in case my car would break down. What I don't have is some stored nuts. So if I break down, I'm going to be hungry. But I do have in there a first aid kit. I had a vacuum sealed fresh t-shirt that's just a meaningless t-shirt. But somebody in front of me, we were camping, and somebody on this bridge, all of a sudden, he just like rocks his Harley and going like only 10 miles an hour falls over, him and his wife on the back. So then I come over, I'm like, hey, can I help you guys out? I got a first aid kit, pulled out alcohol wipes, alcohol, Band-Aids, gauze, everything necessary to clean it, and then even a t-shirt. And I threw all that on. I was like, the t-shirt's not even necessary. But if she got blood on her shirt, or you just want a clean white cloth to wipe off blood, I was like, you know what? I'm glad I had all that shit. So I've never used it for myself, knock on wood, but I've already used it for that person and probably another person by now.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like trying to think of positive ones, and I mean probably I guess a negative could turn into a positive, I guess. Like I think like one that has like always gotten me in trouble would be like the I'll remember that mentality of okay, cool, like at work, my day is so chaotic. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got to do this, and I have things written down or whatever. I'm like, okay, I do got to remember that one thing. I'm sure I'll remember it. No big deal. I'm not even going to write it down. I'm not even going to prep it. I'm just like, I know I'll remember it. And then I don't. And then I'm being questioned as to why I didn't remember, whatever it may be. So that's a tough one because like, I also like wonder for my timing, like butterfly effect wise, like, does my forgetfulness put me at safety? Like, what if I would have left my house 5 minutes earlier? I don't know. Like little shit like that. I was driving to when we were driving to Philadelphia, dude. Like, if we didn't have the habit of stopping it, like when you get into bumfuck Pennsylvania and you see a Sheetz, because the Razzleberry Sheetz are 40 miles, like we just stop. Like we're like, all right, we're stop. Go pee real quick. Just top out the gas tank. We'll get back on the road. No big deal. We usually stop a couple of times, especially 5-hour drive, like 2-3 times, just to make sure I'm good, she's good, whatever. 5 minutes down the road, there's like the most horrific car accident I've ever seen. And it was fresh. Like the police weren't even there yet. I'm like, oh, what if I didn't stop at the Sheetz? Like, or like, what if I didn't have to run back inside to go get my keys? There's like little things like that where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm justifying my actions a little bit there, but like it does make me wonder if like that, like I'll remember that mentality or whatever, where like that's just kind of a part of me hasn't bailed me out, you know?
Yeah, was this always the technical path that I was supposed to be on?
I don't know, man. Maybe. And then Titty wrote one. We did this last week, and it was not fair. The one more beer fucking bullshit, dude. God, there's a whole.
Or we're only gonna have a few.
There's a song about it. I used to go see this band at the Irish Festival, and they have a song about like this guy. He's out, and he's going shopping for dinner for his wife. Like the boss is coming over, and he's like runs into his buddy he hasn't seen forever. He's like, oh, let's just go for one. Just go for one beer. And like that is like the curse. There's never been just one fucking beer, bro. And then me and Brandon like, oh, let's get the double IPA. What do you want? You guys need another one? Tay, what are you gonna drink? Let's just do the same one. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's over.
And
it's
round
over.
3.
Yeah, it's over.
One.
It's over. Game freaking over.
Oh, Trish is coming down to pick me up. Oh,
there we go.
There's karaoke over across the street.
Yeah. That snowball effect, dude. If you just had that couple beers and you went on your way, nice little buzz, maybe get a ride home, grab some tasty food. Nope, we're out of karaoke. Brandon's doing the Brandon thing.
I'm on IPAs, Guinness, Miller Lights, and can't sing for shit, even worse than usual.
Fuck.
The IPAs.
All right, so overarching, write it out. Yeah, write it out. Just thinking of like habits that I think anyone could implement in their life. Just thinking broadly here. Like I think the one thing that I need to lean into more as I get older is prioritizing time with family, which is something I haven't done. And Brandon mentioned earlier, like, oh, you get like, you kind of get a grace from your parents if like you show up and it's 5 minutes, they're happy to see you. They understand you're busy. They love you unconditionally. So whatever. But like they also deserve, time with you and like structured time. Like we're going to go do something, or I'm going to like intentionally not just show up to show up, but actually do things with you. So I think whether it's my parents or my siblings, my littlest sister, like things like that, like she's growing up, I want to be a part of her life, like making sure I'm making the time to be there. And I think anyone could benefit from that, where everyone has family shit. Like anyone who's, regardless of where your family is, they're social status, how much money your family makes or the structure or whatever it may be. There's, and unfortunately, some people don't even have that luxury. But I think I want to make sure that I focus on that. And I think that's something that, whether it's family or just the people you hold close to, like actually intentionally setting time for them, that is the 100% offering you can give them and not just half-assing it just to say I did it.
It's pretty solid, dude.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, I know. You think I'm just calling some like fucking diarrhea over here? Like no fiber diet?
No fiber diet.
Oh, it might be too much fiber diet.
That must be too much.
Oh.
You got anything?
Actually, ironically, fiber is one of the things I was like, it's not on here. It's not on here, but I'll say it again about water. I think everybody, granted, there's people who drink way too much water. Like there's people out there who are like, I need to drink 2 of these things, and you know the type. They're walking around in the gym with a giant like gallon,
Full
of water.
gallon jug.
Yeah. They're like, how many do you drink of those? Oh, I drink about 6 a day. It's like, okay, you're probably the reason that we don't have enough fresh drinking water, but not really. But there are outliers. But I think for the most part, people need to drink more water, and myself included. I think there's a lot of people, and probably not out of plastic bottles, out of actual containers. Fiber, I think, in general, people need to start getting outside, be outside, fresh air, start doing a little bit more stretching. I think people need to experience boredom on their own terms. What I'm talking about is meditating, but also like that dopamine diet we talked about a long time ago. It's like every now and then when you're online and you're bored, just as a gift to yourself, practice some self-love. Let yourself be bored. Look around you. Read the back of a candy bar. I don't know. Just like, don't pull your phone out. Like, read the tabloids. Tons of things that there's millions of dollars. If you're going to the grocery store, if it's like a chain, millions of dollars are spent trying to grab your attention all around you. And there's a lot better ways that you can do just better than your phone. So I'd say most people, they probably just need to practice a little boredom, drink some more water, get outside more, and tons of fiber and fruit. Just, I don't know, make sure you're eating like 1 to 3 types of fruits a day, at least.
Something along those lines to the fiber.
Yeah. The outside, I wrote down the outside too. I was going to mention if you didn't. I like, even this week, it was like 0 degrees or whatever, and school was canceled. I got told to work from home. I'm like, do people just not like leaving their houses anymore? Like, I've never, I understand like ice on the road or whatever, like, sure, safety reasons, but like, dude, just put a fucking coat on. You put a
Dude,
coat.
going to the woods last night with
Yes,
Ruby was the shit.
Well,
There
that's what I was
not a
gonna
single
say.
person there.
Go
I was like,
out-
fuck yeah.
Go outside. It's the best time. It's my dude. Cold is my favorite time because there's nobody out. I love it. Like, I love going for runs. The woods are the best in the winter. There is nobody there. You can see through miles through all the trees and everything. It's sick, dude. So if you're watching, go the fuck outside.
Yeah, mine was outside and bare feet in the grass.
Bare feet,
Bare feet in the grass.
Bare ass in the grass.
Grounding. Yeah, dude.
You ever do bare ass in the grass?
I have not sunned my balls before.
Okay, I did not say.
Supposedly
No
that
one
is a
said,
thing.
"Did you sun your balls?" I asked if you put your bare ass in the grass. Those are
Yes, I
two
have.
completely separate things.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
have.
Okay, but you haven't sun your balls. So why
I've
would you
never-
answer the question with "I haven't sun my balls"? If the question was, "Have you put your bare ass in the grass?" and the answer was yes. Yeah.
But I've never.
I also have not sunned my balls.
Supposedly that's a thing.
Is that? Oh, I was gonna say the
The
old
image-
thumbnail we
the
had
other
was
image was the
you
other
were
image was me sunning my balls.
in the garage. Unfortunately,
In
you
the
have
garage.
you have fluorescent lighting your balls. It's not good for you.
Now they have a tan at least.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
man.
This was an absolutely fantastic episode on habits. Serial killer or disciplined alpha male. We appreciate you guys riding along with us, listening, joining the squad, joining the community.
Join the
As
Discord.
always, join the Discord.
Hey,
As always, we say don't trust us, trust yourself, and I'll let these guys. We got Brandon, and we got Derry, and myself, Zach. I'll let these guys roll us out on the final.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, no, seriously, join the Discord because Braden's been working very hard at it, and we want you guys who listen to it to become a part of it. Like plan the episodes around your input on what we're going to talk about. if you're sick of listening to us talk, the best way to help with conversation is for you to be a part of it. So join the Discord and talk with us about our future episodes.
Yeah, it's the quickest way to get involved in the episodes too, because it's going to be very quick to the point where we're going to be, Fickle 92 literally had this amazing concept on what we were about to talk about today. And then now you're a part of the episodes. You're a part of it all with us. So we appreciate you guys. Take care.
Later.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning into episode 37, Habits, Serial Killer or Disciplined Alpha Male. Don't hesitate to catch the gang's next release, episode 38, Self-Scientist. Where did our instinct go? Oh, well, the gang gets together to discuss what does it mean to be a self-scientist? In what ways have you treated your body and mind as an experiment? How deep will the gangs share? Do you tend to focus a lot of growth on your mind, body, spirit, or a blend of the three? Woo! It's shaping up to be an interesting one, folks. Don't hesitate to catch the next release. Thanks for riding along. Take care.